Hello guys, this is me, Daniel96, back here for another video, and today we'll be making our round 2 tips of the 2025 AFL season. So round 1 is complete, and yeah, what a round it was. We finally got to see all the teams play. It was definitely a difficult round to say the least, but we ended up getting 6 out of 9 tips correct. I feel like we could have gotten way more, but yeah, for the first week you kind of have to take it, and well, it wasn't off to a good start. This first game, I don't know how Carlton lost. They just were terrible that night. It was unbelievable. Hawthorn got the win as expected. Geelong got a strong win, and yeah, Sydney lost a close one. They were a big chance but didn't get there. The Bulldogs, I mean, sort of expecting it to win, but North did well. Port were terrible. I don't know why I tipped them, to be honest. I mean, had some hope, but they were outclassed, and yeah, they're in big strife. I mean, wowie. And then down here on the Sunday, we got all those 3 games right. The Crows smashing St Kilda, Melbourne losing just against the Giants, and Gold Coast absolutely humiliating West Coast. And you can now see the predicted margins versus the actual margins, and overall there was some big differences, especially that Collingwood-Adelaide game. That was a 100-point difference, but there were some games that were pretty good overall. I think our closest was Sydney versus Brisbane with, well, really the margin was close anyways. So yeah, I mean, that was round 1, and we are now moving on to round 2. And so we are here in round 2, and what a round this is going to be. I mean, we've learned a lot from round 1. Now we're going to learn a bit more in round 2. And starting with this first game, this is already setting up to be a blockbuster. And by the way, this video is coming out a bit late, so it should be coming out on the Thursday, on the day of the game. So yeah, let's get into it. It's between Carlton and Hawthorn, playing at the G in this really do-or-die clash. And yeah, it's not looking good for Carlton. They had a terrible week, and probably one of the worst losses I've seen in quite some time. That was horrendous. Yeah, I would be very disappointed if I was a Carlton fan. I guess their only chance now is to redeem this game, which against Hawthorn. Yeah, Hawthorn look really good. Hawthorn have shown to be the strong team this year, and they look really good as a premiership contender, and I could definitely see them winning it this year, and I could definitely see them winning this game. I mean, they are majority favourites here. They just play really well at the G. They haven't been beaten there quite some time. They just always play really well. And yeah, the odds are all towards Hawthorn. I think the stakes of this are high, because if Carlton lose another one again, then there will be some big concerns. And yeah, we will have to analyse Carlton and their premiership hopes. They want to top 4. It's looking very grim at the moment, and yeah, this game will be huge. I can see Carlton definitely, maybe giving themselves a chance, but yeah, I'm gonna go quick here, and to get this first tip started, I have to tip Hawthorn here, and that's where the majority is going. I think this will be a good game, but I am predicting Hawthorn to win by 29 points, and I'm rating this game a 91. This is going to be high stakes. Now looking at the Friday night game, and this is a bit different because as we will get into it, it is the Bulldogs' 100th year in the AFL, and this is their celebration game. This is the anniversary game, and yeah, it's between the Bulldogs up against Collingwood, playing at the G, and it's not quite often that we see a Bulldogs game, a home game at the G, which I guess makes it interesting because Collingwood, they play at the G, so it more feels like a Collingwood home game than a Bulldogs home game. But this game will be of symbolic importance to the Bulldogs. They know how important this game is, and yeah, after last week, I guess they could need some better performance. They're a bit lackluster with some of the injuries, so that will make things much more difficult. And against the Pies, who absolutely destroyed Port a week earlier, they are a big chance to win this game. And yeah, it says a lot. I mean, we saw what happened. They just absolutely played the ball really well. And yeah, after the critics criticized, they responded. And yeah, I can see this game going towards Collingwood's favour. And yeah, many reasons really. They missed the 8 last year. They won the grand final 2 years ago. They wouldn't get back into the 8 and potentially top 4. They do have a good team, a great team, and I could definitely see them getting there. So yeah, I think the Bulldogs, we'll see what happens. Yeah, we'll see what happens. I can't make early predictions. I think this will be a closer game than we think. But yeah, just due to injuries, I have to give it to Collingwood for this one. They just looked really well. And yeah, I would expect them to win this game by 25 points. And I'm rating this game an 86. Now looking down at the Saturday here, and wow, we got some good games. There's only 3 on the Saturday, which I guess is good because there's no overlapping games. I can just focus on one of these games each. But yeah, starting with this first one, and I think this game is huge because really, I don't see any one side this year. I don't see any certain winner for this one. It's between Essendon and Adelaide playing at the G on the Saturday afternoon, and the odds, yeah, they feel 50-50. Essendon did lose against Hawthorn last game. They didn't lose by a super big margin. They were mostly out of the game though. They tried coming back, but it wasn't to their chance. And yeah, they're back at the G again this week, which I guess is a home advantage up against Adelaide, who haven't won at the G since like 2017 or something earlier. It's not their best of grounds, but after getting that impressive win against the Saints at home, they look really good, and honestly I can see them being in finals contention this year finally. I guess, yeah, we'll have to see, but they look good. They're looking much better than last year. They got a quality side, and yeah, they just played the ball really well. And against Essendon, this will be interesting. This will be really interesting. I just don't know where this game will lead to. And yeah, that's why I've predicted a close game for this one. It's going to be hard to tip. I mean, we saw last week. I mean, anything can happen. We know that. But yeah, this is probably my hardest tip for this round. I had a thought about it. I would have said Essendon just because of the home ground being at the G. They played there last week, so you'd think they had some experience there. But I did say the same with Sydney last week, and they lost that game as well. And Adelaide, I feel like they got momentum now, and they're starting to roll in. And that is where my tip is going to go. I'm going to predict Adelaide to finally win a game at the G in some time. And yeah, this would be huge for them, I think. So yeah, I think they'll get the win by 5 points. And I'm rating this game an 89. Now looking at the next Saturday afternoon game, it's Saturday twilight. And this one is really a game with high stakes after the criticisms of last week. But yeah, let's have a look. It's between Port Adelaide and Richmond, playing at the Adelaide Oval at 3:45 p.m. This game, well, really has a lot riding for Port. They have this succession plan going on, and it's just off to like the worst start possible. You couldn't imagine a 91-point win. I couldn't imagine that. I was sitting there watching the game and I was in shock. There's just that bit of uncertainty, and yeah, it was a mauling. There was no positives that night, and now they head home up against Richmond, who out of everywhere, like, they won the game against Carlton, who everyone was predicting that to be top 4, and Richmond, who were predicted to be wooden spooners, have won a game. Like, even that's more shocking. So what will happen this game? Well, I don't know. Anything can happen, as we've seen, but I do expect Port to bounce back in this game, and they really have to. If they lose this game, there's going to be so much outcry, and wow, it's going to get messy. I can tell you that. Port need this. It's a must-win game, and they're back at home, so they'll feel relieved. I mean, it's their ground. They do play really well on that ground, as we've seen in the past few years, and they want to get themselves started, and I definitely think they can do that. I think Richmond will pull on a great fight, and I think this game could at times get close, but I do think Port will pull away and finally get their first win of the season. And yeah, you'd think surely that is the tip. I'm going to predict them to win by 54 points, and I'm rating this game an 87. Now looking at the next game, and the Saturday night game of this round, And well, the tips are quite one-sided this one for some reason, I guess. But yeah, let's have a look. It's between St Kilda and Geelong, playing at Marvel Stadium on this Saturday night, the only Saturday night game of this round. And yeah, this will be an interesting clash. Geelong had a great win. They absolutely destroyed Fremantle. Yeah, as I said, did get close at times, but they just were convincing winners in the end. They look good this season, as with every other season. St Kilda though, yeah, they're not looking too good. I just don't see, I don't know, I just don't see St Kilda making it this year. I feel like it's going to be a long year for them. That's what I'm predicting, but I could be wrong. And yeah, this game could be their chance to prove all of us wrong. I mean, they've beaten Geelong in the past. I think the last 2 times they versed each other at Marvel, St Kilda won. So yeah, I'm just saying, anything can happen. It's so unpredictable. I guess we'll have to wait and see. For Geelong to make the top 4, again, they're going to make these wins count. And this is just exactly one of those games that they need to get the win. And yeah, really, I just can't see the Saints winning this one for some reason. I mean, like, they have done it before. I just think this time it will be a bit different. And yeah, we'll have to wait and see. Don't know. This tip could be wrong, but I have to go with the majority here and say Geelong will get this win. I think it will be fairly close. I am predicting the margin to be 16 points, and I'm rating this game as 79. Now looking down here to the last 3 games of, well, on the Sunday, all on the Sunday. And just to note, Gold Coast and GWS have a bye, so they're not playing this round. But starting off in the first game of the Sunday, this is probably the most one-sided tip that I'll make. I thought the one above was, but this one's way one-sided. Yeah, it's between Brisbane and West Coast, playing at the Gabba on the Sunday afternoon game. Brisbane are unveiling their flag, which was meant to be at opening round, but they had to shift it. But yeah, you'd think surely this is their game. Despite all that went wrong in the previous weeks, or previous 2 weeks, they had some couple unlucky situations. They won against Sydney out of the blocks, and it just looked like a really good performance. They just looked really determined, and that's the Brisbane I remember. They just looked good again, and I think surely they'll be premiership contenders once again. As for West Coast, they seem to be struggling again this season. They had a shocking round 1 game against Gold Coast, and yeah, I would have thought they would have improved this year, but I don't know, it just doesn't seem like it's going to happen. They're still in that rebuilding phase, and yeah, I mean, it would just almost seem impossible for them to win this game. I just think, I mean, against the Brisbane crowd, the Brisbane fans, and just the quality side Brisbane have. I mean, they won the premiership last year, so this one will seem obvious. I think the tip will be obvious, and if the result is otherwise, then that'd be crazy. But yeah, I have to tip Brisbane for this game. I mean, everyone's expecting it. I think it will happen, and yeah, I think they'll win the game by 44 points, and I'm rating this game as 67. Looking at the second of the Sunday games, and this one's on the Sunday afternoon, and this one should be, I think, pretty interesting. The odds don't suggest that, but I think this would be one to watch. It's between North Melbourne and Melbourne, playing at Marvel Stadium on the Sunday afternoon, and this one, I think this will be huge. North are still in that phase of working things out, and I thought they were a big chance to get the win last week, and they got close, but still wasn't enough for them. They versed like the B grade team of the Bulldogs, and even that wasn't enough. So yeah, I guess some concerns, but I mean, up against Melbourne again at Marvel, this should be interesting. Melbourne had a really good game against the Giants. I thought their game was good. Everyone was writing Melbourne off, but yeah, they seemed to prove us wrong until the last minute where they did lose. But overall, I thought it was a great game after what they had gone through in the preseason. So now they face their second test, and it's up against North. And really, I think this will be a game of seesawing action. Again, this feels more like a 50-50 game. I can see both teams winning this one in some way, shape or form, but I do probably have to stick with the majority on this one again. Last week I was considering making risky tip to tip North. I didn't do that, and they did lose. I thought that was the best chance of winning a game, and yeah, this game I would think Melbourne are more likely to get this win. As I said, we'll wait and see what happens, but that will be my tip of this game. I mean, surely Melbourne looked really good last game. I would think they would continue that. So yeah, I'm predicting Melbourne to win this game by 22 points, and I'm rating this game at 76. Now for the last game of the round, and this is going to be a good one to finish. As you can see, it's 50-50 and really no certainties here. Don't know what's going to happen, but this will be one to watch. It's between Fremantle and Sydney, playing at Optus Stadium, and this one is, as I said, one to watch. Fremantle had a disappointing game last game against Geelong. They got smashed. They lost by 78 points. Was not a good game, and I guess there were some red flags that were showing. They need to get back on that winners list, and they're back at home once again. And yeah, this is a pretty big chance for them, I reckon, against Sydney, who have lost the past 2 games at home. They're also under that red flag. This will be a big game for both of these teams and quite consequential. I mean, if Sydney lose, that will be their 3rd loss of the season, and everyone will be talking about them. But if Fremantle lose, then there will be some concern for them as well. But this is perfectly split. You can't split it any more than this. And yeah, this is a hard one to tip. Yeah, this one, because I could see either team winning this one. Sydney have played fairly well at Optus Stadium in recent times, but Fremantle, I mean, they didn't do too bad last year. I do expect them to bounce back sometime. And I think this will be the game that they will bounce back. Yeah, it's a big chance for them, big opportunity for them. And I think they will take that chance for this game. So for this last game of round 2, I am going to make my tip to Fremantle to win this game. I did Sydney twice in the past 2. They lost. So I'm switching things up. I'm going to tip Fremantle. And yeah, really don't know who's going to win this one, but I'm predicting Fremantle to win by 20 points, and I'm rating this game an 85. And just like that, that is my round 2 tips done and dusted. This is going to be a good round to watch, and many uncertainties. I don't know what to expect from this round. Will we see some upsets? Will we see some controversies? I don't know. I think it's expected, but we'll wait and see. So thank you guys for watching. Hope you enjoyed this video, and yeah, I'll see you guys in the next time. Bye bye.